and welcome. You're watching Newsx and I'm Megha Sharma. In a tragic incident, there were at least 9 devotees, including 8 women and 1 boy who were killed, and there were more than 25 others who were injured in a stampede that broke out at a private temple in Andhra Pradesh. Saturdays are usually witness to a large rush of people of over 3,000 devotees at the temple, but today the number of devotees exceeded 25,000 on account of Ekadashi, which is one of the most sacred days in Hinduism. This has not been the first, and unfortunately it is not going to be the last to take place in India. In the last months of 2025 alone, there have been innumerable stampedes that have led to the death of several people. Let's start off our conversation. I'm being joined by Bhaskar Rao. He is a former IPS. Bhaskar Rao, thank you very much. And you know, as unfortunate as it is, it's not like the incidents such as these are likely to reduce in the near future, because it looks like a norm in our country. You know, the shock value has sort of disappeared. You know, there's another stampede, there are another set of people who have died. There was a stampede that took place in Tamil Nadu just a few weeks ago. There was a stampede that took place in Uttar Pradesh during Prayagraj Mahakumbh. So how do we deal with this? How do we ensure that lives of people in India are valuable?
See, the preparation of police is paramount. Police has to anticipate where gatherings are going to take place, and they have to liaise with the organizers and accordingly prepare crowd management techniques. All these things are taught by the experts in National Police Academy as well as State Police Academy. The only thing is that it has to be translated on the ground.
No, but here, this is an individual who has built a temple. It's been 4 months. It's under construction. People have started thronging the temple. They have been visiting it for the last 4 months. How is the police going to be in the know that there is a temple that has been built over here, and until and unless the organizer, the entrepreneur who has set up that temple, the man who's behind the building of the temple actually goes and informs the police?
See, he did not inform. The police have got a very elaborate setup of information gathering. And we have also done this over years, where crowd is going to come on, which are the important days, where congregations take place, where jatra takes place, temple festival takes place over there. And we get to know from from which direction people are going to come, because that is not the end of only the jatra. You have to manage the traffic also. You have to make diversions in traffic. You have to do a whole lot of crime work also during the jatras over there. So at times what happens, the senior leadership will just delegate it to the lower levels, you handle it. So this is something which has to be done on a very disciplined way if you are going to value human lives, because we are seeing it day in, day out. In Bangalore itself, we saw the cricket match stampede over there. Then Tamil Nadu, we saw the stampede over there. And finally, by booking some criminal case, nobody is going to be punished except police is going to be blamed, and some good innocent law-abiding people or God-fearing people are going to die in this. So everybody has been pouring heartfelt condolences on the social media, and they have been giving what is the use of pouring heartfelt condolences? You have to crack the whip. You take action against concerned officers over there. Then you see what is the additional DG Law and Order doing? What is the range IGP doing? What is the district SP doing? What is the special branch doing about anticipating all these things? And we have to keep on seeing what happened on the same festival last year. Or if any gathering is to take place, elaborate preparations need to be made. It is not a poor state that it can't afford. So at the end of the day, who is tasked to maintain law and order? The police is tasked to. So if a politician also says you do this, you do that over there, at the end of the day, you cannot stop people from coming to the temple. You cannot stop people from gathering in any religious congregation. You have to only make bandobast. You can evince take the interest of volunteers or other people from the organizer. But we cannot shy away from our responsibility.
Okay, all right. I'm also right now being joined by NV Subhash. He's a BJP spokesperson. NV Subhash, how do you view this entire situation? This is not the first of incidents of a stampede taking place in our country. Like I said, there was one that took place just a few weeks ago during a political rally. This happened in Karur in Tamil Nadu. There were stampedes that have happened in various temples year after year after year. How could the government have ensured that this did not happen?
I just was, before coming to this channel, I was just going to the website of, the stampedes which just happened in temples and other, the public meetings. as you said, this should be the first and last, and then we hope that anyone, all the departments, all the police and all the political parties to take an account on this. I hope this should be the last, because we have to learn lessons from so many stampedes on that. The recent stampede in the Karur and even in Tirupati, even in Pushkar, Rajamandri in 2015 also, we have to learn the lessons on that. This is in anticipation of just Ekadashi, which happens to be the very auspicious for Lord Balaji, and it is also considered to be mini Tirupati, the one which happened, the stampede in that. People did not anticipate, because he was expecting around 1,000, 1,500, but huge crowd have been, just pouring in, and there was, so much of, the publicity, even in the website, even in the social media, and people who cannot afford to go to Tirupati, which is a long distance from Srikakulam, they wanted to have a darshan on that. However, whatever the reason, we cannot have a blame game today, because all the political parties are supposed to help, the victims, and then we have to extend the condolences, and we have to see, the medical facilities is just available there. But we should learn lesson. Any government, I'm not talking about a particular government or the particular political party, but we have to learn these lessons. We have to anticipate, because human life is very, very important. How the poor or the rich person, the life is important, and everyone should take into account. Everyone should be responsible, and everyone should be accountable for it. So this is not time to put blame on the particular political party, as been done in the Srikakulam. But the political parties, the volunteers have to take into account what made this the situation arise, and what is the the shortfalls and gaps in that, when the building temple, and when organizing a the political event, or the cricket match, or something, the political rally. This should be, people should be made responsible. We cannot let people go and then take blame on the government or the police. However, the police have to have some kind of intelligence network, as Mr. Bhaskar Rao was telling, that he is a senior IPS officer, and the police has to take into account. The police has to anticipate, because we all depend ultimately the police and the government officials, and the government machinery will be blamed.
Yeah, but also the big question: what action has been taken against this individual who must take all responsibility for this unfortunate, sad incident that has taken place? Gidugu Rudra Raju, who is a senior Congress leader, is also on the telecast with me. Mr. Raju, how do you view this situation? Do you think this is something? This is a calamity. This is a man-made calamity that has happened, and it could have been averted if due diligence had been made, if precautions had been adhered to.
So this is the third incident that took in 2025 in Andhra Pradesh. Earlier it was there in Tirumala, and after that in Simhachalam also it has happened. Now today in Srikakulam it has happened. So instead of taking knee-jerk issues, better to have consolidated protocols we will have to maintain. Like first of all, we'll have to have some contingency plan. The problem is with entry and exit queue lines. So entry and exit and queue lines are different. And if something like this situation happens, we should be in a position to move the people. We need to have some alternative plan also. And this particular temple is being operated by, constructed by some Harimukund Panda, maybe an individual, but as we were discussing, the police might have taken a lot of measures to
but then even if an individual has decided, listen, I want to put in the money, I want to construct this temple, there are guidelines that have to be followed, there are permissions that need to be taken, there are safety clearances that have to be obtained, without which he is just not going to be allowed to build that temple. So the fact that there was so much laxity from the administration front that gave all the permissions and clearances, or did not give the clearances, and he was in violation of all these clearances, how can you have just one entry and one exit point, and a single entry and exit point that has just resulted in this catastrophe that has happened?
Level committee has to be formed with some senior police officers and senior officers, like you take in crowd management, Tirumal Tirupati Devasthanam is supposed to be biggest one. They deal with more than 5 to 7 lakhs in auspicious occasions. So somebody like senior officers, senior IAS officers who worked as EOs or some senior IPS officers. So there has to be a form of some committee has to be formed, and there should be certain protocols, because so whenever the crowd is there, time slot is also very important. In this case, everything and almost majority of the people, more than the expected crowd, was at one time they were all there. That may be the issue for the Stampede and all the things. You need to have crowd management as well as the time management. If you give the time slot, then then only they can go. So definitely a thorough discussion has to be made, because this is the third incident in the same year, and we almost lost 22 people in the 3 incidents, and we need to have some specific protocols in crowd management, as well as a judicial inquiry has to be made. We demand a judicial inquiry into this, and properly the person who is responsible for all these things has to be, even though the policeman filed a case, he has to be taken task. And as former commissioner is telling, the local police has to also be properly handled.
Yamuna Pathak, political analyst, also on the telecast with me. Please shed more light into what more can be done. Have we not learned our lessons after the innumerable cases of stampedes and crowd crushes that we witnessed on a periodical manner?
It is basically a clear indication of taking it for granted. So anything, and there's so much of lethargy in also implementing the safety measures and the protocols which have to be followed. So this is everything which is evident. And what's appalling is basically we could not find a deployed trained personnel here. There is an absolutely lack of emergency response in terms of lack of security personnel there, or a medical people who are assisting, or the medical teams there, or the volunteers. See, at least the temple should have any of these 3. At least one of them should be there assisting them. There should be some sevaks at the temple who would be assisting the needy or someone who are vulnerable in the terms of age is concerned. So these kind of things are very, very appalling. This is absolutely, and there is then there is also there is no trained personnel also which are available there in terms of these kind of things. So we have to take care about all this. We have to observe all these things. See, it is basically lack of common sense, and absolutely being very lethargic in taking this initiative, because as rightly said by Bhaskar ji, who is accountable? Who is that we want to make people accountable? Who is accountable? The temple management or the people there? Absolutely, I will say it is the temple management. Any temple management which is actually administering these kind of things have to adhere to the proper safety measures, and also should follow the proper protocol in kind of managing the crowd management there. That's what even earlier where I have also mentioned about few points. Where is the entry, the proper? So these things have to be clearly taken into consideration, and they have to have a proper entry and exit, as what I told you earlier.
Bhaskar Rao, again, a big question. When all fingers are pointing to the man who constructed the temple, he has obviously not taken proper measures, has not taken permissions, no security clearances, which is very apparent why this incident has taken place. Why has he not been arrested as yet?
Hello?
I can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah. See, madam, the person who constructed the temple, I'm told, is about an 85-year-old person. And see, new temples will always be constructed, and Kumbhabhishekam will be carried out, and on auspicious occasion, people are also curious. Nowadays, people have become very, very sensitive, and they lose no opportunity in going with the entire family as well as elders to make temple visits. It is up to the local administration, the district magistrate and the superintendent of police or the commissioner of police to anticipate such kind of a thing and make very elaborate preparation. As Subhash sir mentioned, see, in places like Tirumala or other places, they have now acquired some kind of an expertise of how to handle stampede, how to compartmentalize the crowd, how to give time slot to them, or how to do proper crowd management.
And there are stampedes and crowd crush that continue to happen in these established premises as well, which see thousands and thousands of devotees throng annually. to all these places. But my question over here is, NV Subhash, why have we still not gotten any news of what is being done against the man who is responsible for this, the person who has constructed this temple? Why is there no inquiry as yet? Why has he not been arrested?
Something is fun. I think they have booked. He's a 94 years old person. He wanted to do some philanthropic activities, and then he wanted to have.
Will you give him a clean chit because he's 94-year-old and his intent was right? But there are 9 people who have died.
See, I'm not the contemplating on that, but the cases have been booked against him, and then I think police will take action on that. But it's a very, very pathetic situation that when the temple has been constructed, I don't know whether he has taken all the permission, the required requisites, the prerequisites from the concerned authorities and the zoning regulations. All this has to be taken on that. However, if there is this kind of temple or any the construction is taking, there are the concerned persons, the concerned authorities have to take into account. And then they have to do the mandatory requirements, the prerequisites. And then after that, if still it happens, then I don't know, what they should do. But the trustees or the person who is responsible should be really booked on that. Maybe he must have done because he has donated. He has donated the land. It's he did not take money from anyone. Government also did not just involve in that. He wanted to do a good job. But now the situation is so devastating that when we see in the visuals on your Newsx that so much of stampede, and then there is no entry exit on that, and there is so much, so many people have come on this day. I think the police should have they should have really anticipated, because the police will be getting all the information in and around the police station. They should have anticipated, they should have done some precautionary measures, including the endowments department and the revenue department. But being a auspicious day, even the police also did not anticipate. That's what we have been just hearing. There are so many stampedes, there are so many issues on that. We should learn lessons. That is what I've been telling on that. We should learn lessons. Anything this kind of things happens, we just do some the condolences, and we extend some kind of the financial relief. After that, we forget. And the next day the same thing can happen. This kind of situation should not happen.
So how many more stampedes, how many deaths, how many people being trampled is going to then wake up the administration, the government and the authorities to take stringent action is the question. Gidugu, Rudra, Raju, please tell me, how do we chart our course here on?
Instead of taking knee-jerk issues, the government has to formulate a specific protocols, as we discussed earlier. So time management and crowd management, police management, local administration. When they know pretty well that at least 4,000-5,000 people are also coming. No elaborate security arrangements were there for that people also. So in so many places in Andhra Pradesh and both Telangana and Andhra, lot of temples are there. Even though they doesn't come under the Endowment Act, they are being run by the private charitable trusts and institutions. So government has to intervene, and they will have to formulate security aspects, and they will have to streamline everything. And definitely in this particular issue, there should be a judicial inquiry over the total incident. And as well as when we have discussed earlier, we need to formulate a senior retired officer, so IPS, IAS officer, somebody who has been into this and who dealt with the temple administration, all to protocol, to fix up the local protocols and all, because see, in so many places now, lot of people are going for all the temples. But there are no proper, when the issue comes only, we are taking up all these things for the discussion, as well as the government is also taking. So district collector or the district magistrate or SP or the concerned officers, they will have to take it very seriously. Either it may be political and all the political rallies or political meetings, or about the any such type of crowd issues, crowd management we will have to take. Otherwise, a lot of people will have to unnecessarily lose their lives, valuable lives. And definitely in this particular issue, because this is the third, I am telling you, the third in 2025, and Andhra, we lost 22 people. A judicial inquiry should be conducted, and thorough inquiry should be conducted, so that we can formulate some procedure or protocols, so that we can avoid all these happenings in the future.
Okay, all right. But is it truly, how is it truly possible to implement all these things? Sound well and good when we talk about it in theory, but how do we implement it? It is complicated. We are a country with the largest number of people across the whole world. We are 1.5 crore, 150 billion people. So this is a problem that needs to be figured out. I'm going to again come back to you, Bhaskar Rao, and get an insight from you. How can our police forces be more attuned about things that are happening in their surroundings, to ensure that precautionary measures are taken and preemptive measures are taken to ensure disasters such as these do not recur?
Done all this from January to December. We make a list of all the different functions, jatras, temple festivals, etc., where huge crowds are expected over there. And we make a calendar of that, and we prepare an elaborate bandobast scheme of manpower, vehicles, drinking water, ropes, and toilets, and where parking, etc., has to be prepared. So we have been successful in conducting so many programs, both in Karnataka police as Andhra Pradesh or any other place. Wherever preparation has not been done, anticipation has not been there, planning has not taken place. This is what to anticipate over there. More crowds have been better handled. When senior officers are personally camping over there, then they have ensured that crowds go. We have always seen that single exit and multiple exits, and people should not be allowed to gather in one place over 1 hour there. And there has to be always, in compartments, we should put people over there. Otherwise, crowds always move in waves. If you allow one single wave to come from the back to the right front, there will be a single crowd. So you have to break that into several pieces. So these are all police technologies of how to do. Obviously, I feel that these things have not been adhered to over there. And sometimes we have the menace of these VVIPs coming. So then we have to separate. VVIP channel should be kept separate. Their entry and exit should be. So this is not some rocket science. It is only common sense, practical, as both the SARs mentioned over there. They are also senior politicians having wide experience as regards people management are concerned. The additional DGP law and order, the range IGP, the DIG, and the SP and the special branch people, as well as the local district administration, should prepare elaborate bandobast. Only then we can have all, because innocent people will come all the way trusting the district administration that everything is hunky-dory. And suddenly, because of some rumor or some small fall or failure of electricity or electrocution, we should anticipate all these things and have all, as Sir was mentioning, we should have standby plans. And now, instead of having a judicial inquiry, I'm sorry, sir, what will you do? Finally, you have to blame the police. I'm straight away blaming the police here itself, now itself, saying that there is total lack of preparation.
Okay, I have with me Venkat Narayan also. Venkat Narayan, how do you view the situation? Is human life in India so cheap that even when people die by the dozens, and these incidents have been taking, week after week. It's not like there is a one-off incident that has taken place once in a year or once in 6 years. This has been happening every other week. This really portrays India in such a bad light. How are we really capable as a country to be able to tackle unfortunate incidents such as these?
The problem is we are the world's most populated country, 145 crores of people. And, if you go to any village, if somebody carrying a monkey puts up a show and he easily attracts hundreds of people. And there are more than 500 Venkateswara Swamy Temples across India and the world. Now, the time has come for the government of India to get into the act and involve senior police officers like Mr. Bhaskar Rao and other experienced people and evolve a standard operating procedure to insist that each temple or each place of worship must have more than one entry point, more than one exit point. There should be emergency facilities, there should be medical facility, there should be, buses or vehicles ready to carry people if some unfortunate event like what happened in Srikakulam happens, to rush people to nearby hospitals and so on. I think the tragedy of India is that, we keep talking about this. This is the lead story in television, newspapers. Tomorrow it will be lead story in the papers. After a few days, another major incident happens. Everybody forgets about it and they talk about that. But I think the time has come now for the government of India to get into the act and evolve a huge panel of experts and put together a standard operating procedure saying that each temple, each places of worship must have A, B, C, several entry points, several exit points.
No, but unfortunately, what I'm trying to say is that this is there, this is available in writing. Unfortunately, everything that is supposed to be followed while constructing a public infrastructure is not followed. And whose fault is it? It's not just the fault of this individual who has constructed this temple, this establishment. It is also at the same time the fault of the administrative authorities who have turned a blind eye to the the things that have been going on. In terms of, for example, the temple, the way it's under construction, you are still allowing people to gain entry, visit the temple. It has been going on for the last 4 months. This time around, instead of 15,000, there were 25,000, which led to this stampede situation that took place. And it is now that the authorities are going to wake up. But I'm saying this is now a little too late. So this is the unfortunate situation, and we can keep harping upon the point that rules need to be followed, guidelines need to be followed, safety clearances need to be gotten, permissions need to be obtained, but it all boils down to the same thing, that the authorities are not ready to do their job. They are sleeping, they are lax. I don't know, have they been bribed? I don't know what has gone on, because a temple that is under construction has still not been given all the permissions, all the okays, all the approvals for these devotees to first of all come and enter into the premises and pay their homage, and their prayers to the lords. Quickly, a response from you, coming back to you, Yamuna. So what is the message that you would like to give to the Andhra Pradesh government?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear you.
Yamuna, what is the one message that you would like to give to the administration, to the police authorities and to the government of Andhra Pradesh?
It is absolutely the clear failure of the administrative machinery, and I really request at least learning lessons this way, this hard, losing human lives, no value for human lives, and feel very sad when people talk about compensation. Will this compensation can get back the lost lives? Is what for the bereaved families is what my question is all about. And at least it's high time now people start thinking and get prepared for the emergency response teams to be deployed, especially in pious days like this. The administrative machinery should be very, very alert, and they should deploy the emergency response teams at every temple, especially during the these kind of things. And another thing which is alarming is, our temple which is not constructed any which ways, it's not safe. So these kind of things have to be here. If you ask me who's the culprit, I say everyone, each one of them. The system itself is a failure there, and this has to be taken care, and no more biased approach to any of such things which would cause the human life. And people, government, machinery, everybody should be alert, and at least now they start taking things seriously and work on these issues, and at least from now onwards we don't lose any kind of human life anymore.
Okay. All right, thank you, Yamuna, for giving us that response, and I thank all my other panelists also for joining me on the telecast and sharing their views. There is another update that is coming in. This is There is an SIT that has been formed in the suicide case of a doctor from Satara in Maharashtra. The SIT will be led by IPS officer Tejasswi Satpute. Orders have been issued to begin the investigation immediately. This case entails the suicide of a young doctor on 23rd of October. In a note written on her palm, she alleged that Sub-Inspector Gopal Badane raped her multiple times, while Prashant Bankar, a software engineer, and her landlord mentally harassed her. Until now, both the accused have been arrested. Uneza Gadia is on the telecast with me. Uneza, what more information can you give us about this SIT team that has been formed?
Yes, Megha, this SIT has been set up because of growing anger in public, and we've seen a lot of protest for this lady doctor who was raped in Satara district. And there were a lot of allegations of police negligence and demands for an impartial investigation into this case. So initially, local police were accused for misleading the case, as the main accused himself was a PSI. Who was named in the suicide note for allegedly raping this lady doctor. This created doubts about the fairness of local investigation, and also led to many protests by doctors, also women groups, and also local public also protested, demanding justice for an independent inquiry also. There was also concern about the case involved powerful individuals and could be influenced by the local level. To ensure this transparency, accountability, the Maharashtra government now has decided to form this SIT. And this will led by senior IPS officer Tejasswi Satpute. Now this team will have task reviewing all the evidences, re-recording the key statements also, and identifying the lapses or cover-ups in the earlier investigation.
Right.
They have this goal of delivering a neutral and thorough inquiry into the circumstances.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Uneza, for giving us those updates. On that note, I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching Newsx.